Welcome to the deep dive. Picture this scenario. Maybe you've experienced it. You get some really great news, right? Like clear test results from the doctor.
Okay, yeah.
Logically, you should be thrilled, ecstatic even. But inside, you actually feel, I don't know, a bit disappointed, maybe a weird letdown, because you'd geared up for bad news.
That anticlimax feeling.
Exactly. So you try to explain this tangle of feelings to someone, and they just hit you with, that's silly, you're crazy, don't you know how lucky you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe, what's wrong with you? That's ridiculous. And boom, you just feel completely unheard, misunderstood, maybe even a little ashamed.
That feeling is just awful, isolating.
Totally. And that sting, that invalidation, that feeling of being somehow wrong, even when you're trying to be honest, it happens all the time. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. This deep dive is really about communication, connection, understanding. We're asking, how do we really hear people? How do we accept them, and maybe even ourselves, when things get difficult or when we just plain disagree?
And that scenario you started with, it's the perfect way in. Because we're going to explore this really powerful skill. It's often misunderstood, I think, but it's key. Yeah. Validation. We're drawing a lot from Patrick King's work here, which really breaks down how to listen, hear, and validate effectively.
Okay.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to give you some real tools, clear frameworks, practical techniques, things you can actually use.
Tools for what, exactly?
To transform your relationships, honestly, to navigate conflict better, even strengthen how you see yourself. All by mastering validation and empathy. It's kind of a shortcut to deeper, more meaningful interactions.
Okay, I like the sound of a shortcut. So let's unpack validation first. What is it, fundamentally?
At its core, validation is acknowledging and accepting someone else's experience. Simple as that. It's communicating that their feelings, their perspective, it's valid, it has a right to exist.
And critically, it's not agreement, right? That seems key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the biggest hurdle for most people. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like. You don't even have to fully get it.
We just have to recognize it's their reality.
Precisely. Going back to your example, the person feeling disappointed after good news.
Yeah.
When their friend says, that's silly, you're crazy, that's textbook invalidation. It just shuts the conversation down. It says, your feelings are wrong.
Right. It makes you want to just stop talking.
Yeah. Because invalidation fundamentally denies someone's experience. It contradicts, undermines, doubts, disagrees, or judges them. And the sneaky thing is, it's not always aggressive. It can be really subtle, even well-intentioned sometimes. Like a parent telling a scared kid, don't be so silly, there's nothing under the bed.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
The intention is reassurance, but the message is...
Your fear isn't real. Or it's wrong. Or think about everyday stuff like, you like mayonnaise with fries. Weird.
Okay, guilty.
Or, hey, don't take it so personally. Or maybe, you're upset about work. Think about people without jobs. Shifting focus.
Or the classic, you're not being reasonable, calm down.
Right, or predicting someone's future feelings. Like, oh, you say you don't want kids now, but you'll change your mind. All of it, subtly or not, just denies their current reality.
Yeah, those examples really hit home.
Yeah.
They do make you kind of shrink back. So why is validation so vital then? What deep need does it meet?
Well, I think it taps into something really fundamental.
Yeah.
We all just want to feel acceptable, right? Lovable, seen, acknowledged, valued. When you validate someone, you give them that. You give them that experience of being recognized. It's real support. It tells them you're not alone in this feeling and it's okay to feel this. It's psychologically crucial.
I can really see that. Like, think about someone trying really hard to overcome, say, a food addiction.
Okay.
If they feel like no one notices their struggle, the sheer effort involved, it's isolating. But if colleagues just acknowledge it, wow, this must be so hard, but you're doing amazing, that validation is like fuel.
It is. It makes them feel seen, stronger. And, in today's world, with so much division and maybe isolation, validation feels even more critical. Being seen and heard, it gives our lives. Well, the book says solidity and a sense of meaning. It adds richness, color, and depth. When someone else witnesses our experience, it feels more real somehow. More manageable.
That makes sense. It anchors us.
Exactly. Now, it's also really important we distinguish validation from sympathy and empathy. People mix these up all the time.
Okay, let's clarify that. Sympathy first.
Sympathy is when you acknowledge someone's experience, but mainly through your own lens. Like, you understand they're nervous for a speech because you would be too. It's relating through your own feelings.
Got it. And empathy.
Empathy goes deeper. It's trying to feel it from their point of view. Even if you love public speaking, you try to imagine their terror, you step into their shoes.
Okay, so validation then is different how?
Validation is purely about communicating that their experience has inherent validity. You take their experience as the only frame of reference that matters right then. Your feelings, your opinions, irrelevant in that moment of validating.
So empathy might lead to validation.
It often does, but they're not the same. Validation is the specific act of affirming their feelings' right to exist, regardless of whether you feel it with them or even understand it fully.
That's a really clear distinction. Okay, so practically speaking, what can you actually say? What are some good validating phrases?
Yeah, simple things work best, often. Like, it's understandable you'd feel that way. Or, yes, that makes sense. I can see why you say that. Or even, it's perfectly normal that you think that.
Okay, normalizing it.
Exactly. Or just a simple, I'm sorry that you're having a hard time with this. And if you want to encourage more sharing, try asking, can you tell me more about how you're feeling?
That opens the door.
Or reflect what you think you hear. I can see why you feel frustrated about that. These aren't just empty words. They signal genuine listening.
And it's not just words, right? The nonverbals matter too.
Hugely. Creating space is crucial. Simple things like leaning in slightly, making eye contact, nodding. Even just or these show you're present.
You're tuned in.
Right. The whole point is centering them, making them the ultimate authority on their own inner experience, as the book puts it. It's their world you're visiting, not trying to drag them into yours.
Okay, this is getting really practical now. You mentioned frameworks earlier. Let's talk about Marsha Linehan's 6-step model. What makes it so effective? Is it like a ladder?
That's a great way to think about it. Yes, it's progressive. Each step builds on the last, deepening the validation. You don't always need all 6 for every situation, but knowing them gives you this amazing toolkit.
Right, let's climb the ladder. Step 1.
Step 1, being present. And that means really listening. Open-minded, calm, focused attention. Fight that urge to jump in with advice or your story.
Harder than it sounds sometimes.
Definitely. Use open body language. Mirror theirs subtly, maybe, and critically. Put the phone away. Remove distractions. Encourage them with silence or just soft,
Like the roommate example, a car accident.
Perfect. Close the laptop, turn towards them, just listen. No interruptions while they get it out. That's presence.
Okay. Step 1, shut up and listen. Got it.
Yeah.
Step 2.
Step 2, accurate reflection. And this involves asking questions too. Once you've listened, try to paraphrase what you heard. Show you got it.
So repeat it back.
Not word for word necessarily. Summarize key points or reflect the feeling you heard. Like, okay, so it sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed right now. The goal is authentic reflection, not agreement.
So you might ask clarifying questions here.
Yes. Like, okay, I want to make sure I understand. When you say X, Y, Z, what does that mean for you? Or, so you're worried they excluded you. Have I got that right? It confirms you're tracking with them.
Okay. Present, then reflect.
Yeah.
Step 3.
Step 3, mind reading. But carefully. This means tentatively offering feeling words to help them clarify their emotions. Sometimes people aren't sure what they're feeling.
So guessing their feelings, isn't that risky?
It can be if you state it like a fact. Avoid diagnosing. Use tentative phrases. It seems to me like maybe you're feeling, or I'm wondering if perhaps you're feeling X.
Softer.
Much softer. Or you seem quite upset right now. Or asking, do you think that maybe made you feel a bit betrayed? Or simply, I can see you're hurt by that.
Okay, like if a friend is just listing annoying things about someone.
You could say, wow, sounds like there's a lot of frustration building up there. You're offering a label, gently.
Got it. Step 4.
Step 4, find context. This is where you validate by linking their feeling to their history or situation. You're showing you understand why this situation might trigger this feeling for them.
So personalized validation.
Exactly. Given your past experiences with unreliable people, I can totally see why you freaked out when they canceled last minute. See? It makes sense in their context.
Or connecting trauma history to current reactions.
Precisely. Knowing what you went through, it's no surprise that loud noises still make you jump. You're saying your reaction is understandable because of who you are and what you've experienced.
That feels really powerful. Okay, step 5.
Step 5, normalize. This is about refraining from judgment and telling them their reaction is okay, it's normal. You're counteracting any sense they might have of being weird or wrong.
So phrases like,
I think most people would feel that way in your shoes, or it's totally normal to feel like this after what happened. Even, yeah, I'd be upset too.
And crucially, not judging the intensity.
Yes. Avoid saying things like, you're overreacting, or you shouldn't be that upset. Just normalize the feeling itself. Like the example of the child telling a secret. I'm glad you told me, you were right to, and it's understandable you're upset about this.
Normalizes the feeling and the action. Love that. Okay, final step. Step 6.
Step 6. Show genuine validation. Be real. This is where you might authentically offer a brief piece of your own experience if it truly connects and shows understanding. It's not about taking over.
So sharing to connect, not to advise or one-up.
Exactly. Like I lost my parent last year too, and I remember feeling completely numb like that sometimes. A simple, heartfelt, I know how you feel, can work, but only if it's genuinely true for you. It has to feel authentic.
Yeah, insincerity would kill it right there.
Yeah.
Okay, those 6 steps are incredibly helpful. But let's talk about the flip side, the pitfalls. How do we mess this up, even unintentionally?
Oh, easily. It happens all the time. Like your earlier example, oh, you'll get over it. That's dismissing. Or think about someone like James after a breakup.
Okay.
His friends mean well. They say, come on, you're better off. Hit the gym. Forget her. They're trying to cheer him up. Fix it.
Right. Offering solutions.
But what James probably needs is just space to feel sad, to be miserable for a bit. Their help actually makes him feel worse, maybe even ashamed for feeling bad. That's accidental invalidation.
Yeah, been there. And the impact can be pretty deep, can it? Especially long-term.
Absolutely, particularly for kids. Constant invalidation can lead to real self-doubt, confusion about their own feelings, even mental health issues down the line. And sometimes, of course, it's not accidental. It's deliberate manipulation, like gaslighting.
Right. So what are the common forms this takes? You mentioned dismissing.
Yeah, dismissing is huge. Then there's minimizing. It's not that big a deal. Or that passive-aggressive, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Oh, hate that one.
Right. There's rejection. That's the wrong way to think about it. Denial. No, that didn't happen. Controlling or judging. You're being way too sensitive, or blaming. Why do you always make things difficult?
And it can be nonverbal, too.
Definitely. The eye roll. The loud sigh. Looking at your phone while someone's pouring their heart out. All send the same message. What you're saying, what you're feeling doesn't matter.
Okay, so how do we actively avoid doing these things?
Yeah.
Especially if our intention is good.
Great question. First, watch your language. Tone is huge, obviously, but specific words matter. Try swapping but for and.
Example.
Instead of, that's a good idea, but have you considered? Try, that's a good idea, and what if we also considered? Feels different, right? More additive, less negating.
Yeah, much less dismissive. What else?
Avoid accusatory use statements. You're confusing me. Becomes I'm feeling confused. Puts the focus on your experience, not their perceived failing. And try to ditch absolutes like should, must, always, never.
They often sound judgmental.
Okay, so language awareness. What about our attitude?
Check your judgmental attitudes. You're not the feeling police. It's not your job to decide if someone's feeling is right or the correct size. Don't play detective trying to find the truth of the situation. Just accept their experience of it.
Resist being the emotional referee. Got it. And the advice giving. Yeah, curb the urge to offer advice or fix it unless they specifically ask. Remember, most people just want to be heard first. Jumping to solutions says, I don't really need to hear the rest of this. Let's just fix it. It bypasses their feeling.
Okay. Hear first, fix later if asked. Makes sense. Anything else?
Insincerity. Avoid those platitudes. Time heals all wounds. Everything happens for a reason. Look on the bright side. They often feel hollow and dismissive. Authenticity is key. A genuine, simple, wow, that sounds really tough, is way better than a fake, cheerful dismissal.
Yeah, authenticity seems crucial. Now, are there times when validation isn't the right approach? Or maybe not the only approach?
Yes, definitely. There are limits and nuances.
Like when?
Well, first, if someone is talking about doing something aggressive, illegal, or harmful, you might validate the underlying feeling, wow, you sound incredibly angry, but you absolutely do not validate the harmful plan or act. You pivot to encouraging constructive action or, if necessary, involve others, authorities. You don't become complicit.
Right. Safety first. What else?
Second, watch out for what some call energy vampires. People who seem stuck in a loop of complaining but never take any action. Initial validation is fine, but eventually you might gently shift by asking, that sounds really difficult. What are you thinking of doing about it? It encourages agency and sets a boundary.
So you don't get stuck in the complaint loop with them.
Exactly. And third, sometimes people genuinely are seeking advice or clarity, not just emotional comfort. If someone's worried about a work review, I'm sorry you're worried, might be less helpful than concrete reassurance, if you have it. Actually, your performance metrics are in the top tier. You have to read the room, sense what's truly needed.
Discernment is key.
Mm.
Okay, this brings us to the really challenging part. Validating someone, well, when they're angry at you, or when their whole worldview feels fundamentally wrong to you. How on earth do you validate that?
That is the advanced class and the absolute key. Again, validation is about the person, not the idea. It is not agreement. You're offering understanding and respect to the human being, even if their belief seems outlandish or offensive to you.
Can you give an example of that? Because it sounds really hard.
Okay, imagine someone genuinely believes, I don't know, lizard people run the world. A non-validating response is, are you serious? That's ridiculous. A validating one focusing on the feeling might be, wow, it sounds like that idea really terrifies you. You're validating the fear, not the belief in lizard people.
Ah, okay. Focus on the emotion underneath. What about offensive views?
Say someone makes a really dated, misogynistic comment like, women were happier in the 50s knowing their place. Instead of attacking, you could try validating the experience that might inform it. Growing up when you did, back in the 50s, I can see how that perspective might have formed. You're not agreeing it's right now, but acknowledging their historical context.
That takes a lot of restraint.
It does. Or if someone attacks you directly, say a client says to a therapist, you don't really care, you just get paid. The therapist could validate the feeling and assert a boundary. I hear how angry you are at me right now, and I also need you to know that saying that really hurts me. See, validating their anger, stating your own reality.
Wow, that's skillful. It separates the feeling from the content and respects both people. So when we're in these tough disagreements, are there like rules of engagement?
There are 3 good principles. 1, understand their view first, really try. Set aside your own stuff. 2, focus on people, not ideas. The relationship usually matters more than winning the argument. People aren't just their opinions. 3, look for common ground. Find the shared humanity underneath the disagreement.
And the goal shifts, doesn't it, if you stop trying to win or convince or be right?
Exactly. If your goal becomes simply to see and be seen, to understand and be understood, the whole dynamic changes. You connect emotionally, bypass the intellectual boxing match. Conflict can actually become connection.
Okay, but specifically when someone is angry at me, what's the step-by-step there?
It requires huge self-control, but here's a framework. Step 1, listen. Just listen. Be present, open. Don't interrupt or defend. Yet, step 2, reflect. Paraphrase what you're hearing, especially the emotions. Okay, so you're feeling really frustrated because Watch your tone, stay calm.
Okay, listen, reflect.
Step 3, accept responsibility. Own your part. Neutrally. Yes, I did forget to call you back. No excuses, no justifications right now. Just own what's yours. Step 4, assert your side. After they feel heard, calmly share your perspective using I statements. I felt overwhelmed that day and it slipped my mind. And step 5, close with more validation. Use we language. Okay, how can we make sure this doesn't happen again? Thank them for bringing it up. Reaffirm the connection.
That's a really solid process. Takes practice, I imagine.
Loads of it. And all of this validating others, it's so much easier if you can do it for yourself first. Self-validation.
Ah, yes. Tell me more about that.
It's basically applying that same compassion and acceptance inward. Telling yourself, okay, I feel angry, sad, scared right now, and that's okay. My feelings are valid. My perspective matters. It's confirming your own worth and reality. You have to fill your own cup first, right?
So true. If you're constantly looking outside for approval, it's hard to be present for others. How do we practice self-validation?
Simple things help. Positive affirmations.
How?
Journaling, maybe gratitude, or just acknowledging what you're feeling without judgment. Conscious, positive self-talk. And you can even use Lenahan's steps on yourself.
How would that work?
Be present with your feeling, step 1. Reflect on it, name it, step 2 and 3. Understand why you feel this way, given your situation or past, step 4. Normalize it. Anyone would feel this way, step 5. And genuinely accept your own experience, step 6. It builds inner resilience.
That's a powerful practice. Okay, let's go even deeper now. Beyond validation, you mentioned empathy. How does that build on validation? Is it the next level?
In many ways, yes. Validation is fantastic for navigating interactions smoothly, respectfully, but empathy is what builds those truly deep, close connections.
Remind us of the difference again.
Validation acknowledges the validity of their world. I see your feeling is real and okay. Empathy tries to enter that world. I'm trying to feel this with you from your perspective. It's understanding beyond just the intellectual.
Okay, so how do we cultivate that deeper empathy?
The book suggests 3 key elements. Element 1, open-mindedness. Or maybe open-heartedness is better, being receptive, setting your ego aside, having a genuine, loving curiosity about the other person.
How do you practice that?
Step outside your comfort zone, engage with people different from you, travel, read widely, practice humility, actively try to imagine how they might feel in a situation, drawing on your own related experiences of vulnerability or joy.
Okay. Openness, element 2.
Element 2, walking in their shoes. Really trying to see the world through their eyes, values, fears, hopes, not just projecting your own onto them. Ask deeper questions. What really matters to them? What are their biggest fears? How do they see themselves?
And reading fiction helps here.
Hugely. It's like empathy, Jim. You spend hours inside someone else's head feeling their world.
Love that. Okay, element 3.
Element 3, communicating acceptance. This is where you show your understanding. It's about using compassionate language, maybe sharing something relevant about yourself authentically, like Linehan's Step 6. Asking insightful follow-up questions, remembering details they've shared before, respecting their boundaries, taking responsibility for your impact. And again, self-validation makes this much easier.
So empathy isn't just a feeling, it's demonstrated through communication.
Exactly. And communication is more than words, right? It's tone, body language. Empathetic communication means thinking. Who am I? Who are they? How do I frame this so it resonates with their world?
And when we're on the receiving end, listening empathetically, what does that look like?
There are 3 types of empathetic listening. First is making space. Just remove your ego. Let their message unfold. No interrupting, no judging. Use silence, receptive body language. Let them just be.
Oh, okay. Hold the space.
Second is reflecting. Mirror back what you hear, the facts and the feelings. Paraphrase. Use feeling words. Show them you've truly received the message. Give them that proof of listening.
Reflecting like invalidation, but maybe with more focus on the feeling.
Yeah, perhaps emphasizing the emotional resonance you're picking up. And third is reacting, responding with appropriate empathy. This can be subtle, a shift in your expression, a nod, and oh, wow. It needs to genuinely reflect that you've registered the emotional weight of what they shared, not just the surface facts.
So for the listener wanting to practice this, maybe an internal checklist while they're listening?
Great idea. You could ask yourself, am I being non-judgmental right now? Am I hearing feelings and facts? Am I showing I'm listening? Am I reacting appropriately? And maybe most importantly, what does this person really need from me right now?
And if you're unsure what they need,
just ask. Honestly, how can I best support you right now? Or it sounds like you might just need to vent. Is that right? Or are you looking for ideas? Directness can be really helpful.
Yeah, it cuts through assumptions. And finally, how can we close conversations in a way that really lands the validation and empathy?
Thoughtful closing phrases can make a big difference. Things like, thank you for trusting me enough to share that.
Nice.
Or, I'm really glad we talked. Please know I'm here if you want to talk more. Or if they gave feedback, I really appreciate you telling me that. Or simply, I feel like I understand your situation much better now. Thanks for explaining it so clearly.
Those feel really connecting. They reinforce the value of the conversation.
They do. And mastering this stuff, validation, empathy, it really is transformative. It changes relationships, dissolves conflicts, builds a stronger sense of self. But it takes practice. It's a skill, a muscle you build over time.
It's not magic, it's work. Worthwhile work, though.
Definitely. It can genuinely change your world, how you experience it, and how others experience you.
So here's a thought to leave you with. As you go about your day-to-day, in every interaction, what if you consciously tried? What if your main goal wasn't to agree or fix or win, but just to truly see the other person? To convey somehow, I see you. Your experience matters. You are valid. How might that simple shift change things? For you, for them, maybe even ripple outwards. Something to think about. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.